If you're interested in finding out how your direct sourcing strategy is performing, then Source Overview is the place to go. Click Performance, Source and Overview. First of all, just a little bit about tracking your candidates. Once a visitor has logged into the ATS and identified themselves as a candidate, Insights will track all their future visits as a candidate, regardless of whether or not they log in. There are some scenarios, however, whereby Insights may not be able to track a candidate fully. If a candidate switches to incognito browsing or resets their browser's access credentials, if visitors have ad blocking or proxy server technology enabled, Insights may not be able to track them correctly, and in some situations, if a candidate goes from HTTPS to HTTP, referrer information may not be transferred by the browser. Starting at the top of the page, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the key figures for period. So total visits, the number of visits made by your unique visitors, and we'll talk a bit more about unique visitors next. Visits are specific to a device, so if a visitor accesses the ATS via their laptop and their phone, these will be classed as two separate visits. So what are unique visitors? So a candidate could be created by an agency, or you could create a passive account. A candidate could directly access the ATS, and these are your unique candidate totals. A candidate could come to the ATS via your career site, or via a job board or search engine. They might receive a link in an email, but there could also be anonymous visits from people who haven't created an account or who haven't logged in. For example, someone has landed on your registration page and doesn't sign up. This would still count as one visit. So the number displayed here is the total of all of the above. The total candidate visits, shown here as 13, show how many of the total visits, shown above as 16, that were made by candidates that we know the identity of. For example, a candidate with an ATS account that has logged in at least once. Therefore, the unique candidates shows the number of candidates that we know the identity of that make up the total candidate visits. The average visit duration is the average period of time between the first action that the candidate has taken to the last action of each visit. The sign-up visits show the total number of candidates that have registered on your ATS, but they haven't yet started an application. Top source shows you where the greater part of your visitors have come from. For example, this might show a job board or your career site. Application visits are the total of users that have logged in and started an application, and users registering while starting an application. You can use the quick filters to gain insight into today, yesterday, your current week or the prior month. Clicking one of these will automatically filter the content in this source report. You can also use the custom filters. There are some really useful infographics that form part of this report which you can download. For example, job applications by source. Here you can see the top source by number of applications received. You can also see the relationship between sources and application status by looking at the top sources, visits and applications infographic. And where you see this triple bar icon just here, you can select it and choose to download the infographic, which is really handy if you want to produce the information in an internal report.